Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a world where every breath you take is wrapped in the rich, intoxicating aroma of ancient incense. Picture yourself in a dimly lit chamber, the walls adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant tapestries, as the smoke from burning resins curls lazily towards the ceiling, carrying with it the weight of centuries and the secrets of empires. You can almost feel the cool stone beneath your feet and the warmth of the flickering flames as they dance in the shadows. This isn't just any room. It's a portal to a time when incense was more than just a pleasant scent. It was a vital part of life, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Now, before you get too comfortable, let's get real. You probably won't survive this journey if you're expecting a quick bedtime story. This is a deep dive into the curious use of incense in medieval African kingdoms, and is going to be as detailed as it is mesmerizing. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're at it, let me know where you're tuning in from and what the local time is. I love feeling that global connection as we embark on this aromatic adventure. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. Hey, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Asterisk, in the heart of medieval Africa, incense was not merely a luxury. It was a necessity, a daily ritual that permeated every aspect of life. From the grandest of palaces to the humblest of huts, the air was constantly filled with the fragrant smoke of burning resins and herbs. You trudge through the bustling streets of an ancient city, the scent of frankincense and myrrh guiding you like a fragrant compass. The aroma is both familiar and exotic, a blend of earthy and floral notes that seem to dance in the air. The use of incense in Africa dates back thousands of years, with roots deeply embedded in the traditions of ancient Egypt. Historians still argue whether the Egyptians were the first to use incense in religious ceremonies, but there's no denying their influence on the practices that would later spread across the continent. You can almost hear the echoes of ancient chants as you imagine the priests of old, their hands raised in supplication, the air around them thick with the smoke of sacred resins. But this isn't just about religion. Incense was a versatile tool, used for everything from masking unpleasant odors to repelling insects and even preserving food. It was a staple in households, a symbol of hospitality and status. As you sit in a medieval African home, the sweet scent of burning frankincense fills the air, signaling to guests that they are welcome and that the host is a person of means. The scent of frankincense and myrrh carries you back through the corridors of time to an era when these aromatic resins were as valuable as gold. You find yourself in the bustling heart of ancient Egypt, where incense wasn't just a pleasant aroma, but a vital component of daily life and spiritual practice. The Egyptians believed that the gods breathed in the smoke of incense, and by burning it, they could communicate with the divine. You can almost see the priests in their flowing robes, moving with practiced grace as they tend to the incense burners, the air thick with the scent of sacred offerings. But the story of incense in Africa is not confined to the banks of the Nile. As you journey further south, you discover that the use of incense was widespread across the continent, with each region adding its own unique twist to the practice. In the Sahel, the semi-arid region just south of the Sahara, you find communities that have been using incense for centuries, not just for spiritual purposes, but also for practical ones. The smoke from burning resins was believed to purify the air and ward off evil spirits, a belief that persists in some cultures to this day. You pause to consider the sheer ingenuity of these ancient peoples who developed sophisticated techniques for harvesting and preparing incense materials. The process was meticulous, often involving the tapping of trees to collect resin, which was then left to harden in the sun. This resin, once collected, was carefully sorted and graded, with the highest quality resins reserved for the most important ceremonies. It's a testament to the resourcefulness and skill of these early incense Traders and artisans. As you delve deeper into the history of incense in Africa, you uncover a fascinating array of uses. In some cultures, incense was used as a form of currency, a tangible symbol of wealth and power. In others, it was an essential part of social and political life, with rulers using incense to legitimize their authority and connect themselves to the divine. You can almost hear the whispers of courtiers and advisors, plotting and planning in the shadow of the royal incense burner. Asterisk, as you wander through the arid landscapes of medieval Africa. The sun beats down relentlessly, and the air shimmers with heat. Yet, amidst this harsh environment, the scent of incense offers a soothing balm, a reminder of the resilience and resourcefulness of the people who call this land home. You find yourself at the edge of a vast desert where the harvesting of incense materials is an art form, passed down through generations. The process begins with a careful selection of trees, often the hardy Boswellia species for frankincense and the thorny Commiphora for myrrh. You watch as skilled harvesters make precise incisions in the bark, allowing the resin to ooze out and harden into teardrop-shaped droplets. This resin, once collected, is left to dry in the sun, its fragrance intensifying with each passing day. The harvesters work with a practiced efficiency, their movements a dance of tradition and necessity. You marvel at the ingenuity of these ancient techniques, which have remained largely unchanged for centuries. The resin is then sorted and graded, with the highest quality incense reserved for the most important ceremonies in trade. This meticulous process is a testament to the value placed on incense, not just as a commodity, but as a vital part of cultural and spiritual life. As you continue your journey, you find yourself at the edge of a bustling marketplace, where the air is thick with the scent of spices and incense. The trade routes of medieval Africa were the lifeblood of the continent, and incense was one of the most prized commodities. You can almost hear the calls of merchants as they barter and negotiate, their stalls laden with precious resins and herbs. The trade in incense was a complex and lucrative business, with routes stretching across the Sahara and into the heart of the continent. You imagine the long caravans of camels, their hooves kicking up clouds of dust as they carried their precious cargo across the desert. These trade routes connected empires and cultures, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and beliefs. Asterisk, as the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desert, you find yourself amidst a sprawling caravan, the air filled with the rhythmic grunts of camels and the soft chatter of traders. The desert highways of medieval Africa were the veins of an intricate trade network, and incense was one of the most sought-after commodities traveling these ancient routes. You can almost feel the coarse fur of the camels as they plod steadily onward, their silhouettes stark against the fading light. These caravans were more than just a means of transporting goods. They were the lifeblood of the medieval African economy, weaving a tapestry of cultural exchange and economic prosperity. As you trudge alongside the traders, you realize that incense was not just a luxury item, but a vital component of this trade network. Its value was immense, often used as currency in regions where coins were scarce. The fragrant resins of frankincense and myrrh were as good as gold, and their trade routes were fiercely guarded and meticulously maintained. You imagine the bustling markets at the end of these long journeys, where traders from across the continent and beyond would gather to exchange their goods. The air would be thick with the scent of spices, textiles, and, of course, incense. It was here that the true value of incense was realized, as merchants from distant lands vied for the finest resins, recognizing their worth not just as commodities, but as symbols of status and power. The trade in incense was a delicate dance of negotiation and diplomacy, with each transaction carrying the weight of political alliances and economic partnerships. You can almost hear the haggling of traders, their voices rising and falling as they barter over the price of a particularly fine batch of frankincense. These exchanges were not just about the transfer of goods. They were about building relationships, forging connections, and establishing trust as you continue your journey with the caravan. You began to understand the profound impact that the incense trade had on the medieval African kingdoms. It was a catalyst for economic growth, driving the development of cities and the expansion of empires. The wealth generated from the trade in incense allowed rulers to build grand palaces, support large armies, and fund ambitious building projects. It was a time of prosperity and opportunity, fueled by the humble resin of the boswellia and camphor trees. As the first light of dawn breaks over the desert, casting a golden hue across the endless sands, you find yourself in the heart of a medieval African kingdom, where the scent of incense is woven into the very fabric of daily life. The air is thick with the aroma of burning resins, a constant reminder of the spiritual and cultural significance that incense holds in this vibrant society. You can almost hear the distant chants of priests and the rhythmic beating of drums as the kingdom comes alive with the promise of a new day. In this world, incense is more than just a pleasant aroma. It is a vital tool for communing with the gods. You stand at the entrance of a grand temple, its towering columns adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant frescoes. Inside, the air is heavy with the scent of frankincense and myrrh as priests, clad in flowing robes, move with practiced grace, tending to the sacred fires. The smoke from the incense rises in delicate tendrils, carrying with it the prayers and hopes of the people. You watch as a priest sprinkles a handful of incense onto the glowing coals. It's a sudden burst of fragrance, filling the temple with the scent of divine presence. In this moment, you understand the power of incense as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. It is a conduit for spiritual communication, a way for people to connect with their gods and seek their blessings. But the use of incense in religious ceremonies is just one aspect of its role in medieval African society. You wander through the bustling streets of the kingdom, where the scent of incense follows you like a fragrant shadow. In homes and marketplaces, incense is used to purify the air, ward off evil spirits, and create a sense of peace and tranquility. It is a ubiquitous presence, a constant companion in the lives of the people as you explore further. You discover that incense is also an integral part of social and political life. In the royal court, the king sits on his throne, surrounded by the sweet aroma of burning resins. The use of incense in this setting is a powerful symbol of authority and divine right, a way for the king to legitimize his rule and connect himself to the gods. You can almost hear the whispers of courtiers and advisors, as they plot and plan in the shadow of the royal incense burner. As the sun reaches its zenith, casting a warm glow over the bustling kingdom, you find yourself drawn to the grand palace, where the air is thick with the scent of incense. The throne room is a sight to behold, with its towering columns and intricate mosaics. But it's the subtle aroma of frankincense and myrrh that truly commands your attention. Here, in the heart of power, incense is more than just a pleasant scent. It is a tool of governance and a symbol of divine right. You watch as the king, adorned in rich robes and golden jewelry, sits upon his throne, the air around him swirling with the fragrant smoke of burning resins. This is no mere display of opulence. It is a calculated move to solidify his authority. In medieval African kingdoms, the use of incense in royal courts was a common practice, a way for rulers to connect themselves to the divine and legitimize their rule. The smoke from the incense was believed to carry the prayers of the people directly to the gods, and by surrounding himself with it, the king could present himself as the chosen one, the intermediary between his subjects and the divine. As you observe the court proceedings, you notice how the scent of incense seems to calm the atmosphere, creating a sense of reverence and awe. It is a subtle yet powerful psychological tool, enhancing the majesty of the king and reinforcing the hierarchical structure of the court. The nobles and advisors, too, are not immune to its effects, their demeanor one of respect and deference. But the use of incense in the royal court was not just about power and authority. It was also a matter of diplomacy. You imagine the emissaries from neighboring kingdoms, their eyes wide with admiration as they take in the opulent surroundings and the fragrant air. The display of wealth and sophistication was a strategic move, a way for the king to assert his dominance and negotiate from a position of strength. The scent of incense, with its exotic allure, added an air of mystery and intrigue to the proceedings, making the kingdom seem all the more formidable. As you leave the palace and wander through the streets, you realize that the influence of incense extends far beyond the walls of the royal court. In the marketplaces, merchants sell incense alongside other valuable commodities. Their stalls a testament to the economic importance of this fragrant trade. The demand for incense is high, not just for religious and ceremonial purposes, but also for everyday use. People burn it in their homes to purify the air, ward off evil spirits, and create a pleasant atmosphere. Asterisk, as the afternoon sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the kingdom, you find yourself wandering through the vibrant streets where the scent of incense mingles with the aroma of spices and roasting meats. The air is alive with the sounds of merchants hawking their wares, the clatter of carts and the laughter of children playing in the alleys. In the heart of the city, incense is not just a symbol of power or a tool for spiritual connection. It is an integral part of everyday life. You pause at a merchant's stall, its shelves lined with small pouches of incense, each one labeled with the name of its origin. The merchant, a wiry man with a quick smile, gestures to his wares, extolling the virtues of each variety. This one, he says, holding up a pouch of frankincense, is perfect for purifying the home and warding off evil spirits. And this, he continues, picking up a pouch of myrrh, is ideal for meditation and spiritual practices. You listen as he describes the different uses for each type of incense, from enhancing concentration and creativity to promoting relaxation and sleep. It's clear that incense is not just a luxury item, but a staple in the lives of the people. You can see it in the way they haggle over prices, the way they carefully select the perfect blend for their needs. Incense is a part of their daily routine, a small but significant ritual that brings a touch of the divine into their everyday lives. As you continue your journey through the city, you notice how the use of incense varies from household to household. In some homes, it is burned in ornate incense burners, the smoke curling gracefully towards the ceiling. In others, it is used more sparingly, a subtle hint of fragrance that lingers in the air. You realize that incense is a reflection of personal taste and social status, with the wealthy using the finest resins and the less affluent making do with more common varieties. The presence of incense in homes serves multiple purposes. It is a way to purify the air, masking unpleasant odors and creating a pleasant atmosphere. It is also a means of spiritual protection, believed to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. But perhaps most importantly, it is a symbol of hospitality, a way to welcome guests and make them feel at home. You can almost hear the soft murmur of conversation, the clinking of glasses, as people gather in the glow of candlelight, the air filled with the soothing scent of burning incense. Asterisk, as the golden hues of sunset bathe the city in a warm glow. You find yourself at the heart of a lively marketplace, where the air is a heady mix of spices, perfumes, and the ever-present scent of incense. The marketplace is a bustling hub of activity, with merchants from across the continent beyond gathered to trade their wares. The scent of incense is inescapable, fragrant thread weaving through the vibrant tapestry of medieval African trade. You watch as traders from distant lands barter and negotiate, their voices rising and falling in a rhythmic dance of commerce. The trade in incense is a cornerstone of this bustling economy, with merchants vying for the finest resins and herbs. You can almost feel the excitement in the air as a particularly fine batch of frankincense is unveiled, its rich, woody aroma drawing a crowd of eager buyers. The economic impact of the incense trade is profound, fueling the growth of cities and the expansion of empires. The wealth generated from this aromatic commodity is immense, with kingdoms vying for control of the lucrative trade routes that crisscross the continent. You imagine the long caravans of camels, their hooves kicking up clouds of dust as they transport their precious cargo across the desert. These caravans are the lifeblood of the trade, carrying incense, spices, other valuable commodities to markets far and wide. The trade in incense is not just about economics, it is also a catalyst for cultural exchange. As you wander through the marketplace, you encounter traders from diverse backgrounds, each bringing their own unique customs and traditions. The exchange of goods is accompanied by the exchange of ideas, with people sharing stories, beliefs, and practices. Incense, with its rich history and spiritual significance, is a common thread that connects these diverse cultures. You pause to consider the irony of it all. A substance so closely associated with divinity and spirituality is also driving force behind economic prosperity and cultural exchange. The incense trade is a testament to the complexity of human society, where the sacred and the secular coexist in a delicate balance. It is a reminder that even in the most mundane of transactions, there is a deeper significance, a connection to something greater. As the day draws to a close and the marketplace begins to quiet down, you find yourself reflecting on the journey that has brought you here. From the ancient temples and royal courts to the bustling streets and marketplaces, the story of incense in medieval Africa is one of resilience, ingenuity, and adaptability. It is a story that continues to unfold, even as the world around it changes. As the first stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, you find yourself contemplating the darker side of the incense trader world, where the sweet aroma of success is tinged with controversy and conflict. The very substance that has brought prosperity and spiritual fulfillment to so many has also sparked debates and dilemmas. You sit not without consequence. You sit by a flickering fire, the scent of burning frankincense mingling with the cool night air, and consider the health effects of prolonged incense use. In this era where medical knowledge is limited, the smoke that fills homes and temples is both a comfort and a concern. Historians still argue whether the inhalation of incense smoke posed significant health risks to medieval Africans. Some scholars suggest that the frequent exposure to smoke could have led to respiratory issues, while others argue that the antimicrobial properties of certain resins might have offered some protection. The controversy doesn't end with health. As you listen to the crackling of the fire, you reflect on the societal impact of the incense trade. The high value of incense made it a symbol of wealth and status, but it also fueled inequality and conflict. The demand for these precious resins drove trade and economic growth, but it also led to competition and, at times, violence. You imagine the struggles of those who lived along the trade routes, caught in the crossfire of warring factions, vying for control of the lucrative incense. Markets. That the environmental impact of the incense trade is another point of contention. The harvesting of resins, while sustainable in moderation, could lead to deforestation and habitat destruction if not managed carefully. You ponder the delicate balance between utilizing natural resources and preserving the environment for future generations. It's a debate that resonates even today, as modern societies grapple with similar challenges. Despite these controversies, the use of incense persisted, a testament to its deep-rooted significance in medieval African culture. You think about the people who relied on incense, not just for economic gain, but for spiritual fulfillment and social connection. For them, the benefits outweigh the risks. and the controversies were simply part of the complex tapestry of life. As you gaze up at the stars, you realize that the story of incense in medieval Africa is a microcosm of the human experience, a blend of light and shadow, of progress and peril. It is a reminder that every action has consequences, and every choice carries a weight of responsibility. The debates surrounding incense use are a reflection of the broader challenges faced by societies throughout history. They strive to balance tradition with innovation, and individual needs with the greater good. As the night deepens and the fire burns low, you find yourself contemplating the inevitable changes that time brings and how even the most deeply ingrained traditions can shift and evolve. The use of incense in medieval Africa, once a ubiquitous and unquestioned part of life, began to face new challenges as the world around it transformed. The once stable trade routes that had carried incense across the continent and beyond were now subject to the whims of political upheaval and the rise of new powers. You imagine the bustling markets of old, now quieter, as the flow of trade begins to shift. The rise of new empires and the shifting of political alliances altered the landscape of the incense trade, with some regions losing their prominence while others rose to take their place. The once lucrative trade routes that had connected the kingdoms of Africa with the distant lands of the Middle East and beyond were now subject to disruption and change. The decline of the incense trade was not just a matter of economics. It was a cultural shift that rippled through society. As the availability of incense dwindled, its use became less common, and the rituals and traditions associated with it began to fade. You can almost hear the echoes of ancient chants and the soft rustle of robes as priests performed their ceremonies. The air, now less thick with the scent of burning resins. Despite these changes, the legacy of incense endured, its influence lingering in the cultural and spiritual practices of the people. In some regions, the use of incense was adapted to new circumstances, with people finding creative ways to incorporate it into their lives. You imagine the resourceful women of the village, gathering local herbs and plants to create their own blends of incense, preserving the tradition in a new form. The decline of the incense trade also paved the way for new cultural exchanges and innovations. As the flow of goods and ideas shifted, new influences began to seep into African societies, bringing with them new customs and beliefs. You can almost feel the excitement in the air as people embrace these new ideas, blending them with their own traditions to create something vibrant and new. As you sit by the fire, you reflect on the cyclical nature of history, how the rise and fall of empires and trade routes are part of a larger pattern. The story of incense in medieval Africa is a testament to the resilience of culture and the adaptability of people in the face of change. It is a reminder that even as the world transforms, the core of human experience, the need for connection, for meaning, for beauty remains constant. As dawn breaks, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, you find yourself transported to the present day, where the echoes of medieval Africa's incense traditions still linger in the air. The scent of frankincense and myrrh, once a constant presence in the lives of ancient peoples, has not been entirely lost to time. Instead, it has evolved, adapting to the changing world while retaining its deep-rooted significance. You walk through the streets of a modern African city, where the past and present coexist in a harmonious blend. Here, the use of incense has found new life, its role in cultural and spiritual practices as vital as ever. You can almost hear the soft murmur of prayers and the gentle rustle of fabric as people gather in homes and temples. The air filled with the familiar aroma of burning resins. In many African cultures, incense remains an integral part of religious ceremonies and rituals. You observe a traditional ceremony where the smoke from burning frankincense is used to purify the space and invite the presence of the divine. The practice is a direct link to the past. a continuation of traditions that have been passed down through generations. The scent of incense serves as a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual, a reminder of the enduring power of faith and community. But the use of incense is not confined to religious contexts. In homes across the continent, it is used for a variety of purposes, from creating a pleasant atmosphere to promoting relaxation and well-being. You visit a bustling market where vendors sell a wide array of incense blends, each one crafted with care and expertise. The selection is vast, ranging from traditional resins like frankincense and myrrh to more contemporary scents infused with local herbs and flowers. The market is a testament to the enduring popularity of incense, as well as its adaptability. You notice how the vendors have embraced modern trends, offering organic and eco-friendly options to meet the demands of a new generation of consumers. The use of incense has become a way for people to connect with nature, to find moments of peace and tranquility in their busy lives. As you explore further, you discover that incense is also a symbol of cultural identity and heritage. In a world that is constantly changing, it serves as a reminder of the rich history and traditions that have shaped African societies. You can almost feel the sense of pride and connection as people share stories of their ancestors, their voices filled with reverence and gratitude. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the city, you find yourself delving deeper into the regional nuances of incense use across medieval African kingdoms. The diversity of the continent is reflected in the myriad ways incense was employed, each region adding its own unique flavor to the practice. From the vast savannas of West Africa to the lush highlands of East Africa, incense was a common thread, yet its applications varied widely. In the great empires of West Africa, such as Mali and Songhai, incense was a symbol of wealth and power. You imagine the grand courts of these empires, where the air was thick with the scent of frankincense and myrrh, and the rulers were surrounded by the finest resins and spices. The use of incense in these settings was not just a display of opulence. It was a strategic move to assert dominance and legitimize authority. The smoke from the incense was believed to carry the prayers of the people directly to the gods, and by surrounding themselves with it, the rulers could present themselves as the chosen intermediaries. As you journey further east, you encounter the kingdoms of Zimbabwe and Mpungabu, where incense played a different but equally significant role. Here, it was used not only in religious ceremonies, but also in everyday life as a means of purifying the air and warding off evil spirits. You can almost hear the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle crackling of burning resins as people went about their daily routines. The scent of incense, a constant companion in the Horn of Africa. The use of incense was deeply intertwined with the region's rich spiritual traditions. You find yourself in a small village where the air is filled with the aroma of burning frankincense and myrrh, and the people gather to perform ancient rituals. The smoke from the incense is believed to carry their prayers to the heavens, and the practice is a vital part of their spiritual life. The diversity of incense use is not just limited to religious and spiritual contexts. In the bustling markets of medieval African cities, you discover a wide array of incense blends, each one crafted to suit different tastes and purposes. Some are designed to promote relaxation and well-being, while others are believed to enhance concentration and creativity. The vendors are skilled artisans, blending resins and herbs to create unique and enticing scents. As you explore the regional differences in incense use, you realize that it is a reflection of the rich cultural tapestry of medieval Africa. Each kingdom, each community added its own unique twist to the practice, resulting in a diverse and vibrant tradition. The use of incense was a common language, a way for people to connect with each other and with the divine, regardless of their location or background. As the sun begins its descent, casting a golden hue over the landscape. You find yourself immersed in the cultural expressions that extend beyond the religious and practical uses of incense. In medieval African societies, incense was not just a tool for spiritual connection or a means of purification. It was also an integral part of the artistic and musical traditions that defined the cultural landscape. You wander into a vibrant gathering where the air is alive with the sounds of drums, flutes, and the melodic voices of singers. The scent of incense is thick in the air, creating an atmosphere of celebration and reverence. In this setting, incense is more than just a background aroma. It is a key element of the performance, enhancing the sensory experience and creating a connection between the performers and the audience. You watch as dancers move with grace and precision, their movements synchronized with the rhythm of the music and the swirling smoke of the incense. The scent of frankincense and myrrh adds a layer of depth to the performance, evoking a sense of timelessness and transcendence. It is a reminder that in many African cultures, the arts are not just a form of entertainment, but a sacred practice, a way to connect with the divine and express the NXPRESSIBL as you listen to the music. You realize that incense plays a crucial role in setting the mood and creating an atmosphere of spiritual and emotional resonance. The choice of incense is deliberate, with different scents chosen to complement the themes and emotions of the performance. You can almost feel the energy of the crowd, their excitement and awe palpable as they are transported to another world by the combination of music, dance, and scent. The use of incense in cultural expressions is not limited to formal performances. In everyday life, it is a way for people to infuse their surroundings with meaning and beauty. You visit a home where incense is burned as a form of artistic expression, the smoke creating intricate patterns in the air. The practice is a form of meditation, a way for the inhabitants to connect with their inner selves and find peace and inspiration in the realm of storytelling. Incense is used to enhance the narrative experience, creating an immersive atmosphere that draws listeners into the world of the tale. You imagine a storyteller seated by the fire, the scent of incense mingling with the smoke as they weave a story of adventure and magic. The incense serves as a bridge between the storyteller and the audience, enhancing the sense of wonder and enchantment. As you reflect on the role of incense in cultural expressions, you realize that it is a testament to the creativity and ingenuity of medieval African societies. It is a reminder that the arts are not just a reflection of culture, but a vital part of it, a way for people to express their identity, their beliefs, and their dreams. Asterisk, as the day gives way to twilight, the sky painted in shades of purple and indigo, you find yourself drawn to the botanical heart of the incense trade, the plants themselves. The science behind the sacred resins is a fascinating blend of botany, ecology, and ancient knowledge, a testament to the deep understanding that medieval African societies had of their natural environment. You walk through a grove of boswellia, trees, their gnarled trunks and sparse leaves, a testament to the harsh conditions they thrive in. These trees, the source of frankincense, are marvels of adaptation, capable of surviving in arid and rocky landscapes where few other plants can. You marvel at the resilience of these trees, their ability to produce the precious resin that has been valued for centuries. The process of resin production is a natural defense mechanism, a response to injury or stress. When the tree is tapped, it secretes a milky white resin, which hardens into the translucent tears of frankincense. You watch as a harvester makes a careful incision in the bark, the resin slowly oozing out and forming a small droplet. This resin, once collected, is the raw material for the incense that will eventually find its way into homes and temples across the continent. In the nearby conifer groves, you find the source of myrrh, another prized incense resin. The thorny trees are smaller than the boswellia, but their resin is equally valued for its rich, earthy aroma. The process of harvesting myrrh is similar, with the resin collected and left to harden in the sun. You reflect on the skill and knowledge required to cultivate and harvest these trees. It's a practice that has been passed down through generations. The preservation of these incense plants is a delicate balance, requiring careful management to ensure sustainable yields. You imagine the challenges faced by medieval African societies as they sought to balance the demand for incense with the need to protect the environment. The knowledge of how to sustainably harvest and cultivate these trees was a closely guarded secret. It's passed down through families and communities. As you continue your exploration, you discover that the science of incense extends beyond the plants themselves. The process of transforming resin to incense is a complex one, involving the careful selection and blending of different resins and herbs. You can almost smell the rich, woody aroma of frankincense mingling with the earthy scent of myrrh. As artisans create blends that are both fragrant and functional, the use of incense in medieval Africa was not just a matter of tradition. It was a sophisticated practice grounded in a deep understanding of botany and ecology. The people who cultivated and harvested these plants had a profound respect for the natural world, recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things. Their knowledge and expertise were passed down through generations, a testament to the enduring power of traditional ecological knowledge. As the final embers of the day fade into the cool embrace of night, you find yourself reflecting on the journey through the history of incense in medieval Africa. Journey that has taken you from the bustling markets and grand palaces to the quiet groves where the sacred resins are born. The story of incense is a tapestry woven from threads of culture, spirituality, economics, and ecology, each strand contributing to a narrative that is as complex as it is captivating. You sit by the fire, the scent of burning frankincense and myrrh mingling with the night air, and consider the profound impact that incense has had on the societies that have used it, from its role in religious ceremonies and spiritual practices to its significance in trade and diplomacy. Incense has been a constant presence in the lives of medieval Africans. It has been a symbol of power and authority, a tool for communication with the divine and a source of economic prosperity. As you gaze into the flickering flames, you realize that the story of incense is also a story of resilience and adaptation. Despite the challenges posed by changing trade routes, political upheaval, and environmental challenges, the use of incense has endured. It has evolved and adapted, finding new expressions and meanings in the ever-changing world. In the modern era, the legacy of medieval African incense use can still be seen and felt. The traditions and practices that have been passed down through generations continue to influence contemporary African cultures, serving as a reminder of the rich history and heritage that shaped the continent. The scent of incense, once a ubiquitous part of daily life, now carries with it a sense of nostalgia and connection to the past. You think about the people who have been a part of this story, the harvesters, the traders, the priests, and the everyday users of incense. Each one has contributed to the rich tapestry of history, their lives intertwined with the fragrant smoke that has filled the air for centuries. Their stories are a testament to the enduring power of tradition, the importance of cultural continuity, and the human capacity for innovation and adaptation. As the fire burns low and the night deepens, you find yourself feeling a sense of gratitude for the journey you have taken. The story of incense in medieval Africa is not just a tale of the past. It is a living narrative that continues to unfold, a reminder of the enduring connections between people, culture, and the natural world. Asterisk, as the night envelops you in its quiet embrace, take a moment to reflect on the journey we've taken through the aromatic world of medieval African incense. The scent of frankincense and myrrh, once a constant presence in the lives of ancient peoples, now serves as a bridge between the past and the present, connecting us to a time when the world was both familiar and foreign. Feel the warmth of the fire as it crackles softly, its glow casting a gentle light on the world around you. The air is filled with a soothing aroma of burning resins. It's a reminder of the enduring power of tradition and the resilience of human culture. As you breathe in the fragrant smoke, let it carry you to a place of peace and tranquility, where the worries of the day can melt away. Remember the stories we've explored together, the people and places that have shaped the history of incense in Africa. Let these stories be a source of inspiration and reflection, a reminder of the rich tapestry of human experience. The journey doesn't end here. It continues in the lives of those who carry the traditions forward, in the communities that cherish their heritage, and in the natural world that provides the raw materials for this ancient practice. So, as you prepare to drift off to sleep, take a deep breath and let the scent of incense guide you into a restful slumber. May your dreams be filled with the vibrant colors and sounds of medieval Africa, and may you wake up refreshed, the renewed appreciation for the beauty and complexity of the world around you.